What's up YouTube? Jeff back again from dopetechdaily.com, and today I'm bringing you guys the unboxing and impressions of the iPhone 8 Plus. Just got it yesterday, and just right up front, this seems to happen every year, so I will go ahead and put this disclaimer out there. I am an Android fan, so you're seeing an iPhone 8 Plus unboxing from an Android fan's perspective, my impressions. So any comments that you leave saying that I'm an Android fanboy, those will pretty much be disregarded because I've already admitted that. This is my honest impressions, though, not going to bash the iPhone, just going to tell you what I think. All right, so I did get the new gold color of the iPhone 8 Plus. I didn't pick up the smaller one this year just because I never end up using it. I unbox it and then sell it. There's plenty of people that unbox both sizes, so really no reason. Obviously, I already took it out of the box so I could play around with it last night. There is nothing really that interesting inside the box. The same stuff as last night. I took out the lightning cable so I could charge it up a little bit. You got your headphone dongle right here because you know there's no headphone jack. You got your AirPods, your ear pods rather, I'm sorry. The AirPods are the wireless ones. I do have a pair of those as well. And then you got your power brick. Pretty much standard Apple fare. You've also got inside here some Apple stickers, you know, if you like to put those on your computer, or if you know someone who hates Apple and you want to put it on their computer to make them angry, you can do that. So box pretty much similar as usual. Let's talk about the phone itself. The phone itself is redesigned a little bit this year, so you do have an all glass back now. Metal sides here so that it's not really as continuous as it was last year. Still got the front bezels that are around here, familiar iPhone home button on this particular phone. On the bottom, as I said, no headphone jack. You just got the lightning port cutouts there for the speakers on the bottom. You know, over here you got the power button. You've got your SIM tray as usual. So the main change here is the back, which enables some wireless charging, which is great. We've had that on Android for a while. It's not really a shot, it's just the truth. Apple finally decided to go with the glass back so they could get the wireless charging in there. You got this great dual camera setup here at the top. I'll talk more about that in my full review with the flash. Everything looks pretty nice and feels pretty good. I will say that it doesn't feel as seamless as last year. So I have my jet black iPhone 7 Plus right here. This one feels like one continuous piece because, especially on the jet black version, it's polished all the way around. So it feels very continuous. This one feels polished on the back, of course, because it's glass. But then when you start bringing your fingers to the sides, it just doesn't feel as continuous because that glass meets the metal there. It doesn't feel bad. It just doesn't feel the same as last year. So I think I'll definitely get used to it. The phone feels definitely heavier in hand. I didn't actually look at the weights ahead of time because I like to see, sort of just judging by the in-hand impressions. It definitely feels heavier with that glass back on the rear. And of course, with the glass back on the rear, you're also going to have to be a lot more careful with the phone. You're probably going to want to get a case because this thing is definitely going to shatter up. If you check out Tech Racks and some of the other great videos that those guys do with the drop test, this thing shatters up real good. So that's a great time for me to mention the sponsor of today's video. Today's video is sponsored by Tech21. Huge shout out to them for sponsoring the video, allowing me to actually bring you guys iPhone coverage because I was thinking about not even doing it this year, to be honest, if I couldn't get some sponsorships. So they make the Evo Check cases, and they've got them in several colors and patterns this year. Right now I am using the clear version, which I'll show you guys what that looks like on the phone in just a second. They've also got this one in pink for the ladies out there, or guys if you want to rock that. You've got a couple of floral patterns. These are the Evoke edition here. It's got their patented Flex Shock impact technology. It's 3 meters, 10 feet drop protection. They do test this up to 20 times in the lab so that you know this is going to withstand several drops. If you happen to drop your phone a whole bunch of times, you don't have to worry about that. That's why their slogan is protects drop after drop. They test it with a whole bunch of drop tests in there. These new ones, the Evoke Edition's got some unique patterns which you might like if you want to dress up your iPhone a little bit. I definitely think the pink version, either the plain or the Evoke Edition, would go great with this color iPhone right here, which actually isn't pink or gold. It's more like a sand color in my opinion, which is something else that I wanted to mention. But I'll go ahead and show you guys what the clear one looks like on there so you can see how it looks in the case itself. Very easy, one-piece case. Just snap it on. All the ports and the buttons are on point. You do have very nice tactile response. Volume button, you've got a cutout over here for your mute switch as well. Cutouts on the bottom for the speaker and also for your lightning adapter, which is really nice. And of course, you've got a cutout here on the back for the camera, which gives you some nice protection. Don't have to worry about scratching that up. A little bit of Tech21 branding on the bottom. You can still see the iPhone text, the Apple logo, and the color of the phone through the back. It's a pretty thin case, gives you a nice slim profile, which is one of the things that I like about it. I don't like to have a case that's going to be super bulky, but also going to give me a lot of protection. So they do have, along with this, some screen protectors, which they sent me out, and they're right here. I'll be testing the screen protector with the cases. They're made to fit perfectly with their cases, and I'll bring you guys a follow-up video on my case roundup and a drop test with the Tech 21 case on the iPhone 8 Plus, so we can just see how the actual screen protector and cases fare together in a drop situation. All right, so a huge shout out to Tech 21. I encourage you guys to check out their products. They made the video possible, so I really appreciate if you guys check out their links in the description. All right, so just getting back to this, talk about a few last things here. I want to talk about the software a little bit, the camera. I've had a brief moment to play around with the camera. The camera is amazing on this phone. DxOMark gave it the highest score ever, 94, and I think it definitely deserves that. If you take a look, I took some shots here just in the studio, just because I just got the phone. I haven't had a chance to take it outside yet. But some of these shots with lossless zoom, this one particularly a very good shot here with nice contrast. And then also here you can see that you've got the Samsung remote sitting on my couch. So just some photos I took with the iPhone 8 Plus. Very nice overall job by the camera of adapting in any lighting conditions. I'm going to play around with the portrait lighting, obviously, the new 4K recording, and test some of those features out. But so far, the camera is very impressive, and I can't really dispute DxOMark's claim that it's actually a very, very good camera. And we'll see if it actually, holds up to the Galaxy Note 8 in day-to-day use. The software, it's pretty similar. iOS 11, I mean, I don't use iOS all year. Again, I use Android mainly. But a couple of things that are noted improvements. When you go to the home screen, you swipe up. Now you can get all of your notifications, whereas before, when you wanted to get into your notifications, you actually had to go into the home screen and then swipe down like that by actually unlocking the phone. You don't have to do that anymore. You can just go ahead and swipe up from here, and then you'll be good to go. The next thing that's really a nice improvement is Control Center. You can edit Control Center now, so you can see down here I've got my Apple Pay, I've got Notes, I've got Alarm, I've got all of that stuff, which is really nice. You can customize that inside of the settings menu. Just go down to Control Center, customize controls. You can add whatever you want to the Control Center. That's definitely a nice feature. Anything that adds customization is something that I'm a big fan of course, as an Android user. And then, of course, the last thing, which I'm a huge fan of, is a file manager. We've had file management on Android for a long time. So now you've got your file manager. You can, look desktop, documents, preview, sync it with your iCloud drive, if you have a Mac, which I do. And also you can get in your cloud stuff as well. You can add things like Dropbox, etc., to manage all the files that are on your phone and in the cloud. So having a proper file manager, I'm definitely going to test it out and see if it's really up to par with some of the ones that I've used on Android. But I definitely like that. As always, iOS is very smooth. I can't complain about that. I still don't like having pages and pages of apps. I would rather have an app drawer personally. That's an Android preference. So I don't really like the UI navigation. But they have improved the notification system, and they have improved the file manager, and they've given you a few more customization options here. Most of the actual improvements on this particular version of iOS are for the iPad. So I'll try to talk about some of those. I do have the iPad Pro 10 that came out this year. I just actually never did a video on it, so maybe I'll have to do a follow-up video to compare that to the Galaxy Tab S3. Speakers, as usual on the iPhone, very good considering that they're bottom firing. I charged it up once. The fast charging seems pretty good. Overall, of course, the biggest thing I have to say about the phone is that it does look dated compared to something like the Galaxy Note 8. Obviously, that's going to be something that's remedied by using the iPhone 10 if you want to buy one of those coming up in the next few months. So it's not like they're putting out this phone and then not giving you an option for a bezel-less design. But just looking at this phone versus the Note 8, you can see those bezels just look a bit dated overall. Of course, you do get some extra features. You get the True Tone display, but the Note 8 has a brighter display. There's some trade-offs. I'll try to do a full comparison of these two, but just out of the gate, of course, as an Android user, I prefer the Samsung experience because I can customize it a lot more, but I do see that there are some advantages with the iPhone, and if you're an Apple fan, it's definitely something you're probably going to like. Now, do you want to upgrade from the iPhone 7 Plus to this? I'd probably say no. If I wasn't a reviewer, I wouldn't have done it. I would say if you're going to upgrade, wait for the iPhone 10 if you have an iPhone 7 Plus, because there really isn't a huge difference. I mean, a few things there that I mentioned, obviously the wireless charging, and obviously some camera improvements there. You're still going to get iOS 11 because Apple always updates their software, so you don't have to worry about that at all. All right, guys, so that's been my unboxing and impressions of the iPhone 8 Plus from an Android user's perspective. I really appreciate you guys checking it out. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Find me at dopetechdaily.com, Google+, Instagram, and Twitter at the links in the description. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching.